it's not looking as lovely as we want it to, is it? And this is a challenge. It's a challenge because people aren't sure. What do you do next? Yeah. I indicated a rejection from the highs before, but who knows where the price is going to find support. I updated this trend line. I kind of imagined it maybe there. Then I kind of updated it a little bit just to kind of give it a little bit of room. And I saw how it was coming into the golden pocket, and you have this anchored VWAP. And look, we haven't flipped it into resistance yet, but we've kind of losing the anchored VWAP. We've lost it before here, and the price still went up. And here we lost it, and the price still went up, but we had to find support from the anchored VWAP to go up. And so I think it's important to note that whatever happens here, we're going to have to find support off the anchored VWAP to make TRVL go up. That trend line, it's obviously not holding, and this is potentially a problem with, again, with illiquid tokens. You know, when you get a little bit of a sell-off, it really does go down. The liquidity is minimal. The problem here on the weekly time frame is decreasing prices, increasing volume slightly. That's slightly problematic because that is quite bearish, but doesn't mean that we're going to go to the zero. Okay, it just means that we're getting a little bit more selling than the rest of the market right now. So people are feeling a little bit nervous. The 3-day chart though was decreasing prices and slightly decreasing. It was still quite high, slightly decreasing volume. And then let's have a look at the monthly. See the monthly, we've come all the way back down right now to the golden pocket. We're basically coming all the way down to capture liquidity, and ultimately that's what this is. This is a liquidity run on TRVL. We had such huge volume last month, and right now people are selling. They sold into that monthly open, and right now the price is coming down for liquidity. And today, recently, we had this kind of slow sell-off, consolidating, and bam, a little bit of selling here. How much is that selling? Let's have a look at the selling there. 3.5 million, 3.9 million, about 4.5, 7.5, 8, maybe 9 million TRVL in the last 3 hours across all the exchanges. So it's not much, 9 million TRVL. In the scale of things, it's not that much. Let me update this volume. And so we are in the right place for TRVL to find support. But naturally, what needs to happen is the buying needs to step up. The buying can only step up once the selling stops. And that's what I've noticed with TRVL in the past. What we need now is for the selling to stop. And so right now, people are looking at this and they're thinking, when should I buy? Well, they're just going to wait for the selling to stop. And you'll know when the selling stops, because usually you round at the bottom and you stop seeing this kind of selling. The price just fails to go down. And right now you can see on the local time frame, we're putting in lower lows and lower highs. So is my idea of an inverse head and shoulder invalidated? Not yet. It's still not yet invalidated, but as time passes, if we can't form a right shoulder here, then it's gonna become invalidated, and so that's the test, we have to see what happens next. How do we form was that it? Was that the right shoulder, or are we looking at something a little bit more bigger? Who knows? And if we are looking at something bigger, and hopium is not, I'm not trying to hope this to happen. I mean, it'd be nice if it happened, but do we go down to the overall golden pocket? There's not much confluence there, and we lose this kind of this trend line. So where does the price find support is a real question. Does it come down to the monthly open to find support? And that would be, that's like another 10% down, It's another 10% down. But you know, with Bitcoin, everything changes, and so sentiment changes. If people see that Bitcoin is rejecting, people will sell their altcoins, and once they see Bitcoin finding strength, then they'll start accumulating their altcoins. But TRVL is a different beast, and I think that's kind of why I do these streams. The analysis is basically for fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm just keeping a little bit of spotlight on TRVL. I still think this whole thing is bullish, even though right now people might be thinking, oh my God, it's going down. And I've given reasons for that. We have increasing volume, increasing prices on the monthly time frame. Last month, we had the most volume ever. And so for me, this is just a pullback until the month end, and then we'll know exactly what this next monthly candle is. And naturally, with these pullbacks, it's just going down until it finds some kind of support, and then people will start buying again. Okay, no one knows how that's going to play out, but it could go all the way down to put in a higher low and then go right back up. And we have to see how ultimately we have to see how the monthly closes. But you know, this weekly isn't looking great, is it? And it's not looking great because we are potentially closing underneath a weekly level here. I'll show you. See that? So we have some levels here of liquidity where the price has failed to find support. See that? So we had that weekly level. Look at that. The price did try to find support there and then sold into. Okay. And now we're kind of underneath this daily level. So we're losing these kind of initial liquidity levels that exist. And in a sense, you could argue we've reversed the volume of this last move. We're back into this little consolidation range here. So I don't expect the price to just go down like that. I do think whatever happens will be here for a little bit. And maybe we can bottom out here to form a right shoulder. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, but we would have to retake that weekly level to go up. That's really important. Whatever happens here, we're going to have to get back above that weekly level. We're going to have to get back above that anchored VWAP. That's going to be really important to see what happens with the price. If we are to just consolidate here and bottom here on this right shoulder for a higher low. Otherwise, you take the low and you are in a bullish. We kind of form a little bit of a bullish harmonic here. You take the low, you go up, and then you're kind of looking to go down, still go down. Yeah, we're not looking to go up, we're still looking to go down. We have to see how this plays out. We are looking at an illiquid, relatively illiquid token. If you think about the price of TRVL since the 6th of July when I restarted my streams, right now the price of TRVL is 55% higher. It went all the way up to 136% higher, and it's at 55% higher. And we are kind of here, aren't we? We're in this kind of area. We're putting in volume in this area. The most volume ever has been put into this area. Let's have a look at the volume here. And when you look at this overall area, we're back into the range. And actually you see that the point of control of this area is much lower than where we are now. It's, there again, 10% lower, 10% lower. Does that line up with... What do you think? Golden pocket is just underneath it, and so unless we can find support here, which would be great for a higher low and get back above that anchored VWAP, then you know you have a potential for going back down here and trying to find support here. And so that's kind of coming into the golden pocket, a previous monthly level and daily levels. But that's actually the most important level here is the point of control, the actual most volume put into this area. You see that? The most volume put into this whole area. Could the price come back to the point of control to find support? Absolutely, it could find it. Ultimately, what needs to happen for the price to explode to the upside is for the price to get back above this value area high, find support, and then you have liftoff. So that would be great. If it went down lower, it's basically the point of control, and that trend line is non-existent anymore. It doesn't really exist. The price has kind of ignored it. So because the price has ignored it, I'm not respecting it. Prices ignored it. So when prices ignore potential trend lines, you have to just ignore those trend lines. You can pay attention if you get a reaction. And so that's kind of where I'm at with TRVL right now. Let's just have a look again at the weekly time frame candle. Yeah, it's not looking great, that one. Can't. Just have to see where the price finds support. Technically, it's still okay, in a sense. Why? Because in a sense, I'll show you why. Just hide these. Oh. Because you could argue that you're in an inside, it's an inside range of that that red candle, and so you're still just trading inside the range, and you're inside the range of this candle. Yeah, so you could argue it's okay still. And we've kind of, but at the same time, it doesn't give people confidence that you've got increasing volume of decreasing prices, and that's really important. It's quite a lot of volume actually in this downward pressure. See that? 340, so that's 740 million TRVL in the last 2 weeks, and it's downward pressure, which has reduced the price by the top to here about 27%. 27%. The price went up 34% the previous week on 60 million volume. So you've got increasing volume to push this price down. In a sense, you could argue that's also quite bullish because you've got more volume and the price is still struggling to go down. But again, I think right now with Bitcoin is really important to see what happens with Bitcoin. So go and have a look at my Bitcoin video. It could still be some kind of inverse head and shoulders here. It could, huh? But although that head doesn't quite work correctly, does it? So I'm not 100%. Maybe people are thinking a double bottom. I don't like that we've lost this trend line. So that's, for me, that's a little bit troublesome. But it wasn't respected at all. So maybe not. Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's not. We kind of need it to. We need to see a reaction. We need to see buying, and until we see buying, it's going to be hard to buy. But at least we're getting volume, and so it's important to get volume. And our volume has obviously increased significantly. And look at the 3-month candle. Whatever happens, that 3-month candle is going to be bullish. Yeah, unless of course it ends red, because it'll be an inverse hammer with really crazy volume. So it's a really bullish. There's 23 days left on that candle, unless of course we close lower than the previous candle, and that will be catastrophic. I don't want to say that that's going to happen. I don't believe that's going to happen. So let's have a look at the 2-month candles as well. It'd be nice for this candle to be green as well if we push up. This 2-month candle. We have to see what happens next here. And then the other thing is that Dtravel made an announcement today. And I don't know if people saw that announcement. I'm just going to pull it on my other screen. I'm not sure if it was posted on the X page or not. Let me just have a look at the Dtravel X page. No. All right, I'm going to pull it up. I got an email. Here, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you without trying to hide some stuff. I can't actually hide. What I'll do is I'll copy and paste it. I can't paste it. I don't want to hide my stuff. So got an email, so you should all be on the email list. My screen's a little bit dark here, so I don't know why. And paste it here. Actually, I can read the update on the website, so that's even better. So I got an email, but actually I just realized that I can read it on the website because there's a link. So it's actually a new blog post. There you go. New pricing plans to power your growth. Starting September the 17th, Dtravel will introduce new pricing plans for all hosts. We're giving you more choice and more control over your business while keeping Dtravel the most powerful direct booking platform in the market at an affordable price. Starting September the 17th, Dtravel will introduce new pricing plans for all hosts. Our flat 3% fee has been popular but is not sustainable for the long term. To keep building the tools you rely on while remaining at a fraction of the cost of both direct booking solutions and major OTAs like Airbnb, we're rolling out a new tiered model. This new approach gives you choice, flexibility, and more ways to save as your business grows. What's changing? New pricing tiers. There's a starter plan, a pro plan, and an enterprise plan. You can see the details there. And one is free. So there is a free plan. So for most people, not to panic. And then the pro plan for up to 4 listings, it's $19 per month with reduced per listing fees. Okay, so that's quite interesting. And then the enterprise plan with at least 200 properties. And this gives you the different options and it tells you why. So quick snapshot. The starter plan, $0 per month, and so the fees are going up to 5% on direct bookings, and then the referred bookings are bookings that come from other websites such as Travala. And I think the incentive is to get onto Travala, but to give them a little cut, so to speak. And here you see the pro plan is 0 fee on direct bookings, so you're actually saving 5%. So the question is, do people get bookings? And if they do, is it worth them subscribing to get the additional 5% reduction once you reach 5K in monthly booking volume? I don't know if that refers to historic volume or if it's a reset on your volume. That would be an interesting question. Probably it'll start fresh, I'm guessing. I don't know. And then 5% fee on Google Vacation Rentals, and then the enterprise plan. So that's it. And then you've got the frequently asked questions. So you can go in there and have a look at all those questions and answers. And so this is an initiative to kind of mix it up a little bit. Final thoughts. We know pricing changes can feel big, but this update is built around one idea: giving you more choice and more control over your business while keeping Dtravel the most powerful direct booking platform in the market at an affordable price. Thank you for helping us build the future of direct bookings. And that's what you have to understand, is that we're going to have to make some significant improvements in Dtravel to impact the business side of Dtravel, and that will inadvertently impact the token price. And this is a good thing. RH says the new mic sounds amazing. Hey, it's the old mic. I'm just putting it in front of my face, whereas before I wasn't putting it in front of my face. Does that make sense? I've posted the link to Dtravel here in chat. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see it. Shit, I don't know where my I don't know why you can't see the links. I should have tested that. That's why. Let's try that. That will work. Let's try that. That work? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, I did BTC RH right at the beginning of the video. I'm gonna cut it into a video. So anyway, this is Dtravel starting September the 17th. I'm honestly right now I feel that it's whatever happens now is positive because Dtravel is changing. I've talked about Dtravel changing. The leadership has changed or changing or changed. It's changed now, but I've been talking about the leadership changing for a long time, and we're getting increasing volume on the monthly time frame. Now we're getting a little bit of a pullback, which is normal when you get an increase in price from the lows, 100% or whatever. And we're still looking at a low liquid token, but we're getting really nice up volume. And so far the down volume has been less. So it's an opportunity. This is an opportunity to pick up this token. I'm here in El Salvador. There's a massive initiative about to be launched here in El Salvador. And this is kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. And I don't think people really understand the extent of what we're about to do here in El Salvador. I'll just quickly have a look at the Telegram before I go on to that new booking site, new booking. Basically, I'm here on a mission to bring the whole of El Salvador onto Dtravel. There's a real opportunity here for us because El Salvador is a small country and it's crypto booming. Yeah, and you have to kind of come out here and live here to understand that. And so while I've been here since April. I went back to London for a month, and there's a lot of properties here that are on a short vacation rental market. And El Salvador is becoming a little bit of a central location where people travel to and through Central America. People are traveling, and it's also becoming a real destination because you've got volcanoes, you've got lakes, and you've got the surfing on the coast, which is all volcanic sand, lots of volcanoes, lots of Mayan temples and history. So we have a lot of things going on in El Salvador. And when I first came here, there was no properties, and we finally managed to get 2 properties with 4 listings on to Dtravel. And there's going to be a massive initiative here in Dtravel to bring the whole of El Salvador onto Dtravel. And this is kind of one of our short-term objectives. And then once we do that, we're going to expand to Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, like the whole lot, Central South America. We're going to go crazy. And what we've noticed is that there's a lot of American visitors, travelers going to Central South America for vacations and holidays. And there's going to be a massive initiative, and that is going to be with the aim of expanding and growing the real world network. And I keep on talking about the real world network. You can go and have a look. The link is there. I'm going to paste it in to chat so you can have a look for yourself. And you can see that we have 5,429 listings. What we want to do is we want to pump that up to 25,000. And we want a massive grassroots. What I'm doing is building a grassroots initiative here to build it from the ground up and get Dtravel recognized and known in Central South America. And that's what we're that's what we're thinking about. That's what we're planning. That's what we're organizing. I don't work for Dtravel. I'm just here because I wanted to move to El Salvador anyway, and I saw a real opportunity for growth and expansion here, and a real kind of gap in the market. People use Airbnb, but Airbnb and Booking.com have really high fees, very high, significantly high compared to the value of the dollar here. The dollar is really valuable here. The wages are quite low, and also there's a lot of bank charges as well. And so there's a real opportunity here to grow and expand Dtravel. And so we're looking at really going full blast El Salvador to boost this number of listings. I think once people start seeing this number go up and up and up and up, and it's already gone up a lot, but to see it start going up, I think that's going to get a lot of investors interested in picking up the TRVL token, because we'll be using El Salvador as a test bed for some other initiatives that we have in mind, which may include some new tokenomics ideas or some initiatives to incentivize people from the grassroots level up to grow and expand the Dtravel network. So we have a lot of things brewing with El Salvador, and ultimately it will be nice that if Dtravel becomes a significant player in Central South America, and that will expand to the rest of the world. And that's kind of what we're imagining right now and potentially manifesting in the next few weeks. And so keep your eye on this space. I'll be streaming more and more about El Salvador. I'm talking more and more about El Salvador as time passes. I'll be kind of your Dtravel El Salvador news broadcast, and maybe when I get a proper setup somewhere, a permanent setup, we'll have a really nice view of behind me, whereas right now you can see it's a little bit sunny, but I've got kind of like a glass window in a room behind me rather than something beautiful. So this is kind of what we're doing. Go and have a look at Telegram. Keep active in there. There's not much activity there, probably because the price has been pulling back, and so when the price pulls back, it's always slow to go up, but then when the price starts going up, people start to get active in Telegram. And then obviously there's a lot of things happening in the back burner, and there's a lot of updates coming, and it's about to get really busy with hosted events as well in El Salvador, and lots of things happening. So keep an eye on the X page, and if you want to reach out, you can reach out to me on my videos or my X page. Work continues, like nothing, just because we're about to kind of focus a little bit on Central South America doesn't change anything from the rest of the world. We still have Andrea and James here in Indonesia, and they're working in Bali, and so we are growing the network, grassroots, on the ground level, promoting, expanding Dtravel. And right now the team is small, and I'm a volunteer, obviously. But in the future, I think once we incentivize the grassroots, the people, to push and promote Dtravel, then we're going to have hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people in the real world doing the work, pushing, promoting Dtravel. And that's kind of what we want to do. We want to create something that explodes Dtravel and TRVL. And in the future, what I'm imagining, I don't know when it's going to happen. I imagine in the future you're going to get a God candle, like a big, crazy, high volume candle, which is going to be significant. Right now, we're just consolidating. Yeah, we got a lot of volume, so we've got a big buy. I think this is the bottom, but obviously we're getting a pullback, so it kind of freaks people out a little bit. And then we have to see how this could this go sideways for a while. It could. Yeah, it is possible that we go sideways for a while. Yeah, and ultimately what we want to do is expand and grow the real world network so much that we're just going to get natural growth and interest in the token and Dtravel outside of Bitcoin and crypto. And that's really the aim of what we're trying to do, is something very different, very new. If it's possible, what we're going to do is blow this up so that in the future it won't even matter whether Bitcoin is at all-time highs or if it's dropping, because what we have is we have this going up. This is the number that ultimately matters, number of listings and the cumulative GMV. If that starts to go up and 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 up, then it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter about the rest of crypto, because now you have an economy, you have a token-based economy which is growing and growing and growing, and it's exponentially growing. And that's the future that I'm envisioning, and that's actually where Dtravel are. They're imagining that future where actually this is the bottom, and in the future we're gonna explode. And honestly, I don't see why we can't go to all-time highs. I don't see why we can't do it. We've built the network. We've spent 4 years building the network, 3 years taking bookings, and now what we're doing is we're growing this network to make it substantial. So that's kind of my Dtravel TRVL update. Is it a good time to buy? Yes, it's absolutely a good time to buy. Not financial advice. It's actually a good time to buy, and it's a good place to buy. Yeah, even though you're seeing selling. I think if people are worried, then it's best as a scale in and dollar cost average in. As always, I say that. not financial advice. And it's always best to put limit orders, not market buying, so we can prevent the price going down. But here you can see there's a little bit of, it's coming into a little bit of support. You see that? Look at that. It's just taking out the low there. It's just taking out the lows. We're finding a little bit of support here. So I think we'll probably, whatever happens, we'll probably be here for a while now. Just simply because when the price does kind of come into an area where it's been before, it's come into that area now, it'll probably be here for a while before it figures out what it wants to do. Usually that's what happens when the price goes fast, down fast. Usually when it goes up fast. And then when the price comes into an area where it's been before, usually what happens, it will just kind of linger here for a little bit. Usually it's about the same period of time or thereabouts. And then we have to see if we can break out, then we can probably create that right shoulder, which I've been talking about. Obviously, it's always possible to go down. So I can't, no one knows what's going to happen next. Could it go down? Yeah, it could also go down. Doesn't change anything from the fundamentals of the business. Have I sold? No, I haven't sold. I'm not selling. Yeah. If anything, I'm looking to buy more. The way I buy is on a time basis. Yeah. So, not based on price. I base it on time. And so I might wait months before I buy more. My long-term plan for TRVL and Dtravel is continued buying, non-stop buying, buy. Yeah, I don't really care where the price is, because ultimately what I'm looking at is the number of TRVL I have, because I know one day this will explode and we will be at all-time highs. Yeah, I know that. I strongly believe that. That's why I stream. That's why I'm doing these streams 3 times a week. That's why I put in all the work, and I'm not even employed by Dtravel, because I really believe in the future of this decentralized real world network, which is it can be a keen competitor to Airbnb. We can take chunks out of Airbnb. And I've told people about my background. You know, I'm a 4.99 star Superhost on Airbnb, nearly 10 years hosting here, 184 reviews. 4.99 stars on Airbnb is really difficult. I don't know if people realize that. It's bloody hard. And it's basically 5 stars, basically, for 9-10 years. It's really hard to get. And that's my background. That's my experience. I'm bringing all of that knowledge and background and experience and excellence in my field to Dtravel, because I truly believe that Dtravel is going to be big one day. It's going to be so big that we will probably be bigger than Airbnb, probably. Yeah, especially when we implement a token economy, a real token economy in the future. And so the previous tokenomics, dare I say, it was trash, wasn't it? It was trash. It was rubbish. And the market reacted to it. And so you just kind of ignore it a little bit. Ignore the previous tokenomics. And so don't worry about the tokenomics for now, because that will change and it will be excellent in the future. That's kind of what I'm imagining. Everything's changed. Everything is changing, and everything will change to make this a mammoth in the future. That's the previous tokenomics. Whatever, stake to boost. What is that? Stake to earn. It's just made up, really. It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. Whoever made this was dreaming of something else. Was dreaming of some kind of crazy idea, but it doesn't make sense. What we need is a tokenomics which benefits people, which changes people's lives, and people who contribute and participate and grow Dtravel. That's what we need. Whether it's hosts, whether it's travelers, whether it's people sharing, expanding Dtravel, or whether it's investors investing in Dtravel. That's what we need for our tokenomics, our new tokenomics model. Yeah. So anyone who contributes to Dtravel benefits, and they bring the value, whether it's energy, whether it's time, whether it's properties, whether it's bookings, whatever, and then they will benefit, and then that is how we grow our token economy. So in the future, you can imagine a future where People might not go to a 9 to 5. They might just go and work for Dtravel in this new token economy. It's a tokenized economy. It's a DAO. It's like an invisible economy, but it's a real world network which serves travel, decentralized travel across the whole world. And that's the future that I'm imagining. This is the beginning. What we're building now with this decentralized peer-to-peer vacation rental network is the beginning of the future. Yeah, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. We're building this first. And then once we build this, we can build the next layer and build the next layer. And then we're going to have this mammoth. And that you can only do that in Web3. You can only do that with a token-based economy, with your native token, chain agnostic token. And right now, what we want to do is we want to build this real world network, make this as big as possible in Central South America. And that's, as I've said, that's why I'm here in El Salvador, to kind of make this explode and then take it to the next level. So watch this space, keep an eye on my streams, keep an eye on Dtravel and the website and the stats, and don't get too obsessed about the price. Is it going to, no, it's not going to zero. Yeah, it's not going to go to, Dtravel's not going anywhere. It feels like it, doesn't it? And I think it's a hard one, isn't it? Because right now people are panicking a little bit. You can tell a little bit of panic because it feels like we've lost this trend line, doesn't it? It's a hard one, isn't it? People then, should I sell? Should I? But I always say it's good to take profit. It's good to take a little bit of profit at the highs. I always say that. It's good to take profit at the highs a little bit, so you can re-add. But if you're not bothered about taking profit, then just buy the dips. You know, accumulate the dips, dollar cost average over a period of time. That's the best way to accumulate any token. And in the case of TRVL and Dtravel, a low liquid token, that's the best way. Again, not financial advice. All right, so I think that's it. My stream has been almost an hour, and thanks for joining me, RH, and anyone else who watches this video. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your time, and hopefully that was informative. Let me just have a look at this volume here. Look, actually, we're coming back to this overall point of control. This is interesting, huh? Because I don't think we've actually tested it correctly. I haven't looked at this. Look, that was a resistance. We haven't really tested it properly. So I do wonder if we are getting a bullish harmonic here. Let me just map it out for you. This is the last thing I'll do. Sorry, got a little bit distracted with myself. Copy image. I am seeing a little bit of a harmonic here. A bat, huh? A little bit of a bat forming here. See that there? You kind of end up, in this scenario, you end up taking those lows, finding support, and then you get a bullish reaction. Or it's a Ghartley if you take it from this pivot low here. Do you see that? See the Ghartley there? It's a bit of a steep one. Usually Gartleys are less steep. But you have a little bit of either a bat or a Ghartley forming. Probably a bat is better. Let me just time it. Tuesday or Sunday. Tuesday or Sunday. We have to see. Probably Tuesday, actually. Probably Tuesday. Does that invalidate the right shoulder? It's a tricky one. It may, but you are in a bullish harmonic here, where if you kind of hit there, take that low, you're going up to 50 fib potentially. It'll take us back up to this level. We have to see how impulsive that is. So that's kind of the idea right now, just based on what I'm seeing. If we do find support, take out those lows here. Let me just have a look at this. So that's assuming we don't hold here, because the different idea would be if we just hold here, hold here, hold here. Yeah. So no one really knows what's going to happen, and then that's the inverse end of the shoulder. Forget that. So we have there's a few levels here. Got some daily levels where the price could find support. Yeah. There's a few levels here where it could find support, and let's just see what happens. And so really it looks like the price is aiming for the point of control just for a test, and that's at 007625, and that's probably about 9% lower than where we currently are. All right, so let's just keep an eye on that. Sorry, I went back into the charts because I saw that just when I got rid of everything. And whatever happens, I'm always looking to accumulate more. I'm not looking to sell. Never selling TRVL. I've already said that. I've always said that. Buy. I'll be buying until we reach all-time highs. Yeah, in the future. And I think there's a lot of people like that, actually. And that's what people don't realize. There's a lot of people come and trade and they make their quick gains and they go, not realizing